for what I'm doing. So if the video gets cut off at the very end, that's why. Just hitting my maximum limit on timing. So first of all, welcome. We've got a ton of awesome faces in here. I think most of you I've chatted with or at least messaged. So at least we've had a chance to kind of introduce. You've probably seen my face. Some of you I haven't seen your faces yet. But my name is Barry. And I am an advisor with the First Form app. Obviously, that's why you're here. Turn my notifications off. And I am a full-time school teacher. So I've taught middle school science for 11 years. And then the past 2 years, I've actually done K through 8 phys ed. So 13-year veteran in the classroom. It was a big shift going from middle school hormones to kindergartners hanging on my leg every 5 seconds. But it's still something that's super awesome and I love it every day. I am on summer break. I'm in Midwest Ohio. So basically kind of living the life. I've got 4 kids, ages 13, 10, 8, and 6. So they keep me hopping and busy pretty much nonstop. We are taking a little staycation close to home. We're camping at one of the state campgrounds here this week. So that was the reason for all the confusion with timing and messages and, you know, all the things that you guys have been sending questions about. I am a sponsored trainer through First Form. So basically what that means is we've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of trainers that work with people, coaching people on their lifestyle and health and wellness. And every 8-week challenge, we submit our best people and they pick the top 5 people, trainers from each challenge and give them a sponsored trainer title. Just means that I've been able to get people results over challenge after challenge after challenge. Just a little bit about that. I've got multiple people that are close to triple digits weight lost, so almost 100 pounds lost, and I've got a couple people that are over 100 pounds lost. So the process does work and the plan works. You know, just trusting the process and going with the adjustments that we make and believing in the system that we're going to present here. So sponsored trainer through First Form. I've been doing this for about 4, almost 5 years now. So definitely been around the block a few times. And we go through different educational coaching calls at least once a week. I've got a couple group settings that I get on 2 calls every week. And then there's a small group that's more interactive where we actually learn about different things. We learn about health and wellness topics. We learn about mindset. We learn about supplements. There's all kinds of different things that we do. So I am consistently getting on continuing education to help move my knowledge forward so that I can share that with you guys. All right. I work with a variety of people. I've got grandmas that are trying to keep up with their grandkids. I've got professional athletes that are trying to, you know, keep their game up. I've got junior high athletes that are trying to get to the next level. All kinds of in between, you know, moms and dads and lawyers and doctors and all kinds of stuff. So it's very important to me to keep my knowledge up so that I can help you guys get the best results possible with whatever kind of scenarios that you're going through. All right. I've got a lot of people that are stay at home. I've got a lot of people that are busy, you know, 12, 13, 14-hour shift workers that are, you know, around the clock working. How do I get my nutrition in? How do I hit my protein? How do I get my workouts? I don't have any time. All right. So that being said, that's kind of where I'm at. All right. That's a little bit about me. So when you see me messaging at 4 a.m, that's because I'm at the gym on the bike, warming up, getting ready for my workout. Or if you see me, you know, on a walk in the evening, I've got my kids out, we're doing something. So I'm constantly on the move and doing something while I'm, you know, messaging you guys and answering questions and responding and trying to help with your questions as well. So I wear a lot of hats, you know, full-time dad, full-time teacher. I'm also a competitive CrossFit athlete. So that training keeps me busy. We'll be traveling quite a bit for competitions as well. So keeping, you know, my training up is another full-time job in itself, plus helping you guys becomes a full-time job as well. I don't like to consider this a side gig because honestly, I pour myself into you guys just as if it were my actual career, right? My long-term goal, just so you guys know, I'm trying to work on shifting my careers the opposite way. So I would love to be full-time coach working with people like yourselves, and then just doing like some substitute teaching or working in the classroom kind of on the side and trying to get more more involved with being on the coach's side, being able to set my own schedule and travel and do work from anywhere. That's my ultimate goal. So that, do we have any questions so far? Anything that I missed? Anything you want to know? I think I covered just about everything. What I do, where I live, crazy kids I got. Good. All right.
Can you just,
What's up, Adam?
could you just at some point anyways, just kind of run through the nutritional side of this app and how that all works and make so like just a few minutes before I got on, I had 2 mini kind bars. I don't consider that a meal. So I'm just trying to figure out where to add that in at.
Yep, we'll cover that.
And explain the water, how you track your water and stuff too. Stuff
Sure.
like that.
You can do that. No problem. Anybody else have any questions or any topics that they would like to see covered? For sure. We'll definitely walk through some of the aspects of the app and kind of show you some tips and tricks that I picked up along the way. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to see for sure? Feel free to type it in the chat also if you think of something as we're going. All right. So my main goal for this call was to walk you guys through the game plan. All right. I call it the Big Four, which you've probably seen that in my messages and in my announcements coming through. I want to walk you through that process and kind of go through some of the specifics there, why that's important and why we want to stick to that foundational plan before we can go through and make any other major adjustments. All right. It's kind of like anything else. If we start trying to put the windows in the house before the foundation's built, it's not going to have a whole lot of effect. All right. So we want to have a good, firm foundation of the things we want to do on an everyday basis, some of the basics to get through, and then we can start adding and getting fancy and getting kind of making adjustments as we go type of thing. All right. So first and foremost, number one, most important part of nutrition. Who can tell me what's the most important part of nutrition that we want to have?
Protein.
Protein. Boom, boom. There we go. All right. So I'm a teacher. I like to be interactive. So if you don't like to participate, that's okay. You can sit and watch and make faces at me. So protein is the most important. Okay. Protein is going to be our main driver of success, and it's what's going to drive our metabolism. So no matter if you have a fat loss goal, if you have a muscle gain goal, if you have a maintain goal, no matter what it is, we have to make sure we maintain the lean muscle tissue that our body has, because it's going to be our main driver of the metabolism. Okay. It's the main energy source. So when we start to cut our protein short, the first thing the body's going to do is start cutting out our muscle mass, because it's very energy expensive to the body, and the body wants to stay as efficient as possible. So when we don't get enough protein, the first thing that goes is that muscle tissue. Okay. Well, guess what? Most of us want to have some muscle. Most of us want to have a lean and toned physique. We want to look good going to the pool, right? We want to have that muscle tone to us. So if we continue to cut protein short, all that's going to happen is our body's going to chuck that muscle out of the way. We're going to see the scale go down potentially. And then all we're going to be is a smaller version of ourselves. We're going to be what I call skinny fat, right? We're not going to have a whole lot of physique. There's not going to be a lot of muscle tone. We're just going to be a smaller version of what we used to be. Okay. So protein is the number one top priority that we have to focus on getting, because if we don't get that, everything else isn't going to have a whole lot of effect, right? Because our metabolism is not going to be working at its most efficient process, and we're going to be losing that muscle tissue in the process as well. And we're not going to have that look that we're looking for. All right. Even if we're going for a muscle gain phase, we have to have protein anyway to build that muscle there. So we have to make sure we hit protein. All right. Now, what is the part of nutrition that controls what the scale does? What controls whether our scale goes up or down?
Diet.
Okay, diet, calories. There we go. So it's the diet, it's what we're eating, and it's the total calories. All right. Calories are a measure of energy. So when we take in nutrition, whether it's food or drink, it's going to contain calories. All right. Except with the exception of water and some other things. But the calories are a measurement of energy. And what our body does is the amount of calories that we're taking in is going to be offset by our everyday movements. Okay, the things that we do on a daily basis, plus our exercise, plus our walking, plus our just physically being, thinking and breathing and being a living human being. Okay, now the calories determine what our scale does. If we take in too many calories compared to what we're burning, scale goes up. If we take in just under what we're burning, scale goes down. If we offset the two and we take in the amount of calories that we're able to burn, we hover around the same. Okay. Now, if you are a wearable person where you have devices that track your movement, they track your motion, they track your steps, they track whatever, right? There's a device that tracks everything nowadays. I've got two of them. But the thing to remember is that these are good to stay consistent with tracking, but they can be off by as much as 40%. Okay. So the real true test of what your nutrition is doing to your body is by checking what the scale does on a regular basis. So this is why tracking becomes so important. We want to be accurate with tracking. We want to be as precise with tracking as we can. We don't want to just eyeball it all the time. Now, I'm at the campground. I don't have my food scale with me and I don't have my measuring cups. And honestly, I don't get that anal about measuring in the first place. But the more specific you can be starting out, the better idea we're going to have of exactly what kind of response your body is getting from the nutrition that we're putting into it. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're tracking everything that we're eating, food and drink, as accurately as possible. So if you have a food scale, if you have measuring cups, we want to be aware of what serving sizes are to be fully aware of the amount of calories that we're taking in. So if you track that you had a handful of almonds, 28 to be exact, which is an ounce, which is about 170 calories, then you damn well better have had an ounce of almonds or a handful of almonds to be sure that that's what you put in your body. Okay. Because speaking from experience, my 1 ounce and the bag's 1 ounce is way different. All right. About 5 handfuls, that's an ounce for me if I'm counting. Okay. If I keep the bag next to me in the truck while I'm driving between school and work, that bag's gone in about 2 trips, and that's about 8 servings. Okay. So you have to be cautious of just mindless eating, and you have to be aware of these serving sizes. Okay. Now, you don't have to be super strict all the time because you'll go insane. You'll go crazy trying to keep track of every little thing. But to get started, you have to understand what's a serving size of peanut butter, what's a serving size of almonds, what's a serving size of lunch meat. You have to be kind of aware, and you have to be kind of strict to get going. Then once you get those things measured out and have an idea, then you can kind of go with the flow a little bit more, and you kind of know what a serving of almonds looks like. You know how much 3 ounces of chicken breast is. You know what a cup of green beans looks like. All right. So you kind of have to be a little strict to start. And then once you kind of have the idea, then you can get it. Okay. So with calories, all right, your calories are going to be set based on your body weight or your goal body weight, depending on what your goals are. If you have quite a bit of weight that you want to lose as your goal, we're going to use your goal body weight to set your calories. If you're kind of in that hovering phase, for me personally, I want to hover between a few pounds difference to help with my gymnastics and training. I don't have to use my goal body weight. I can just use, they're so close, they're going to be about the same anyway. Okay. So your calories are going to be set for what your goals are. All right. This is why sometimes I ask questions about, what is your ultimate goal? What are you trying to get to? Or is this just a stepping stone? Because your calories are going to be set accordingly. Okay. So that being said, we want to make sure that we're sticking true to what our numbers are set at. Okay. If we go too far under the calories that we have set because we have a fat loss goal and we think, okay, and I've had this, if we are trying to just eat 900 calories or 1,000 calories for the day, that is not a good thing. Okay. It seems on paper like it should be a good thing because you're only getting a little bit amount of a food, but it's not good for your metabolism. You might see results initially, but long term, you're going to wreck your metabolism and you're actually going to gain weight because the body is going to freak the F out because you're only getting this much of what it actually needs. So everything you take in is going to get stored up. Okay. So I say that because the numbers that are set there, we want to try to get pretty close to those calories as much as we can. It's kind of like the Price is Right, right? The little guy going up the hill, we want to get as close to that number without falling off. But if we are a little bit short, that's okay. All right. And you've got a little bit of buffer at the top too. You're not just going to fall off the cliff. Okay. So those numbers are set with a purpose. All right. So if it says 2,600 calories, 2,000 calories is too less. That's not enough. Okay. We want to try to get as close to those numbers as possible. Now, that being said, if you've never tracked before, if you've been a constant undereater, I was right there. Okay. If you've been a constant undereater and you're trying to get to that big number that seems insurmountable, you're going to see the scale move a little bit on the opposite direction, because you're going to be giving the body exactly what it needs, and it's not used to that. So it's going to store it up, because it's kind of like, I haven't been getting enough food. Am I going to be okay here? You're going to see the scale creep up a little bit until it realizes, all right, we're cool. I appreciate you. You're feeding me. We're going to be good to go. Now I can do what I need to do. And those processes are going to kick in. That metabolism is going to work at full force. Okay. Now, obviously there's exclusions. There's some people that have gone too far and they're going to need some extra help or some extra things. But for the most part, we want to try to stick to those calories as much as possible. Okay. So 2 of the big 4, we want to track our food in order to hit protein, in order to hit calories. Okay. 3rd thing, we want to drink enough water. We got to make sure we're getting about 100 ounces. If you are 200 pounds or less, you can get by with 100 ounces. That 90 to 100 ounces, I mean, honestly, 10 ounces of water isn't a big difference. But if you are over 200 pounds, we want to be shooting for 120 ounces or more, depending on where you live and how much you're sweating and how active you are. Okay. I get about 20 to 25,000 steps a day when I'm full rotation as a gym teacher. That's a lot of movement. Okay. I know Adam's always on the go as well with his job. Okay. Very active, very moving. That means you're going to probably need to take in a lot more water. If you have a desk job and you sit and stare at a screen all day, nothing wrong with that. Your activity is going to be a little bit lower. You're going to be closer to that 100 or 120 ounces. Okay. Now, this is important because a healthy cell is a hydrated cell. The most commonly overlooked part of health and wellness is keeping your body properly hydrated. In order for your body to burn fat, 2 of the most specific processes to get rid of fat involve being properly hydrated. You have to be able to sweat and you have to be able to go to the bathroom. You got to be able to pee. Okay. So if you're not properly hydrated, you might be burning fat. You might be on the move. You might be getting enough activity. But if your body's not properly hydrated, it's not going to have anywhere for that waste to go. It's not going to have anywhere for the body to put anything, and it's just going to stay. It's going to hang out. Okay. So it's an adjustment to get to if you're not used to drinking water, because you're going to be going to the bathroom what seems like every 5 seconds. Okay. As a gym teacher, I'm glad the locker room's right outside the gym, because I can sneak out and sneak back in. Nobody even knows I'm gone. But you need to be hydrated. Okay. So getting enough water on a daily basis is going to be crucial. So that's number 3. Okay. Number 4, we want to be able to move our body every day. Okay. So this means if we're not going to the gym, we're at least getting a walk. If we are going to the gym, we still want to go for a walk, especially if we have a fat loss goal. If you're trying to build muscle, or if you're trying to maintain, that extra walk on the gym days isn't as important. It's good for you, but it's not as important. All right. But that extra walk is going to burn about 200 to 300 calories, depending on your pace, without making your body feel like it's hungry. Okay. This is important because now you're getting the most bang for your buck if you're hitting proper nutrition, if you're hitting proper hydration, and you're getting that extra little bit of calorie burn without the body feeling like it has to eat to keep up with your activity. Now we've just covered all the bases. We've given the body proper nutrition for metabolism. We've given the body proper hydration to get rid of those waste products to burn fat. And we're doing that extra little bit of activity to burn those extra calories. Okay. So this becomes important because now we can lean out a little bit more without the body freaking out like, holy cow, you just ran a marathon. I got to get more fuel so I can keep up. It doesn't feel that way. All right. So you get that extra little bit of activity. Now, I recommend a 30 to 45-minute walk every day, no matter what, regardless of what you're doing. Okay. If you're getting to the gym, awesome. I love it. Try to get some more walking in sometime, either in the morning if you're going to the gym in the afternoon, or vice versa. All right. So opposite of when you get your workout time, if you can get some more walking in, that's going to be more beneficial for your long-term goal. Okay. Now, if you're in the muscle building side of things or the maintain side of things, we don't have to go that long. Just a walk every day would be helpful, but it's not crucial because it's not really going to do much for your goals. Okay. Now, people are busy. People have things going on. We've got, busy parents, we've got busy workers, all kinds of stuff. All right. If you need to break that walk up, that's acceptable. If you can do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, 15 minutes in the evening as you're winding down, that would be great, because now you're getting that 45 minutes total, but you had to break it up a little bit. It's still better than nothing. It's not ideal. If we can do it all together, that's the best, but breaking it up is still okay. Half hour here, 15 minutes here, or whatever. Okay. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you got. We just want to be intentional with those extra steps, those extra movement. All right. That's going to burn the extra calories, get us to where we want to go. All right. If you are brand new to health and wellness and you're not used to going to the gym, I've seen people drop a ridiculous amount of weight just by hitting protein, getting proper calories, drinking water, and just walking for 30 minutes every day. All right. Because if you are brand new to the system, your body doesn't really know what to do with everything. So that walking 30 minutes is going to be huge. Okay. Obviously, getting to the gym, getting some resistance training has a lot of added benefits. But if you can only walk every day as your workout, you're still going to be leaps and bounds ahead of skipping that part. Okay. Now, that was a load of information. Do we have any questions before I get into some of the things with the app? Jared, you good? I see you unmuted. Did you have a question, or was that just a mistake?
Oh, no, yeah, it's just a mistake.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to miss anything. Okay. So those are the big four. I've got this recorded as well. I'm going to send this back out. I'll put this in the app. So if you guys want to, rewatch anything, if you're a note taker, if I covered anything too fast, we can hit that, or you'll be able to go back and watch it. Okay. Going through the chat here, Jamie says you measure peanut butter with your heart. I sincerely agree with that. Peanut butter is my favorite. Just not good for my numbers every day. Okay. So what I would like to do here, I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I'm going to share my screen with what the app looks like. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through a few things. I know Adam wants to look specifically at putting nutrition in and adding some things with water and some things with that. If I get going too fast, I don't remember if I can see you guys or not. So you might have to holler at me. All right. It says I've got 10 minutes left. So we're going to should be okay. Okay. Share screen. Here we go. Can you guys see my screen? Is it showing up?
We cannot.
Dang it. Of course, everything was going great. All right, try this again. Come on, computer. Hey, there we go. Okay. Now can you see it? Thumbs up. Good. All right. Sweet. So this is what your app's going to look like when you open it. Okay. You have daily tasks. You can edit these if you want to keep track of these to stay on track. These are totally editable. I don't want to go into editable, not edible, editable. You can change them. I don't want to go into too much detail there. You can play with that and mess around with it. You've got your weekly tasks. Okay. This is where you can take your assessment Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. All right. So that's where you will click that when you first open the app. This is how you stay connected with me and get your assessments in so we can go through progress and make any feedback. The biggest thing that I usually check is I scroll down to the daily motivation, my week in review, and then the live streams are right here on this side. These are all of this week's live streams. They go live at First Form headquarters Monday through Friday at, I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern. But these are the experts that they have in-house. So they'll have dietitians, nutritionists, certified personal trainers, all kinds of different things that they go through a whole slew of different topics that are super beneficial. And they are all recorded. So you can go through the archive at any time from the menu, go to the archive, and you can see everything that's there. But nutrition, okay? I've got my nutrition put in for the day. So I've got a little bit of numbers left to hit for fats, but this is typically how I do things is I put things in earlier in the day so I can kind of see where I'm at. I have about the same things to eat every day because it's a lot easier for me that way. And then I don't have to think about it. But when you go to add something, we'll just go to tomorrow. All right, there's a couple different options here. We can either hit the plus sign, and there is add food, which will take you to a search database. There is quick add. So if you've got recipes or if you've got a food label that you can't find, quick add will allow you just to put in the numbers as is. Typically what I do is put in the proteins, carbs, and fats, and then it will add up the calories for you. Right? So whatever numbers you put in, I just made that up. You can put those in, it'll track it for you. Or if you've got meals from the previous day, you can copy those over. You can copy the entire day. This is a huge game changer because if you are somebody that eats the same things majority of the time, you can copy those over. And guess what? There we go. We've got our meals put in for the most part, and everything is going to be good for meal one. Okay. So whatever you want to do as far as adding food, that's going to give you some different options. All right. When you go to add food, you've got a barcode scanner. So if you've got something with a barcode, you can scan that easily. You can look at different recipes. So if you've got something that you have all the time, so this meal I've already got put in, I can save this entire selection as a meal. I can go through and copy it to the recipe builder, which means that I just put all the ingredients in. It'll break it down into how many servings you're going to divide it into. So let's say I was making a casserole and I just put in all the ingredients here, a bag of this, 4 scoops of this, 10 scoops of this, right? Whatever. You can put that in as the meal and then copy it to the recipe builder. And then you can divide it out into how many servings it makes. So then you got it saved as a recipe, and then it's broken down to however many servings you want it to. Okay. Also a huge game changer there. All right. Especially if you're, somebody that likes to make things or throw things together and not really sure what it's all giving you. That's a good thing to utilize. Okay. For me personally, I've got a lot of things saved. My post-workout shake I have every day. A lot of my snacks I have every day. A lot of things that I'm going to eat all the time, I have saved as a meal. I don't have to type them in every single time. I type in double post-work or double protein shake, double PB&J, tuna and crackers, chicken salad, Rockford carry-out pizza, or whatever, right? Once you've got the numbers in and it's something that you have to look for, you can save it, then you never have to look it up again. All right, I go to Hothead a lot. I go to Chick-fil-A a lot. I go to different places. Those things I have to look up maybe the first time, and then I can save them so that I don't have to look them up ever again. Chick-fil-A sandwich and fries, Hothead double chicken, no rice, extra guac, whatever. Then the numbers are already in there. Okay. So that's a couple of hacks there to help you save time with tracking. The more you can get into pre-tracking ahead of time, the better off you're going to be because you'll be able to see what you've got to work with your numbers. If you always have the same breakfast, my mom makes a killer breakfast burrito. I've got that saved in there as Mama burrito, or not burrito, bagel, Mama breakfast bagel. So when I have that, I type it in, it's saved. I know I'm going to have that tomorrow because we're camping and it sounds delicious. So I'm going to put that in for tomorrow morning. I know I've already got it tracked and accounted for. If I'm going to go out to eat, if I'm going to a specific restaurant, I can get online and look up the menu. I can put in exactly what I'm going to have based on what the menu says. I've already got it pre-tracked for the next day. Now I've got the whole day to kind of work around those numbers. I can still enjoy the food that I want to enjoy. I can still go out to eat and enjoy quality family time or whatever with friends. And I've still got it tracked to maintain my goals and hit my lifestyle, but still enjoy my life. All right. So you can still enjoy those kinds of things, get used to pre-tracking and look ahead to see what those numbers look like so that you can take them into account. Okay. So Adam's question earlier about meals, right? I had a snack. Anytime you have food, it's considered a meal. Okay. Even if it's just a pack of crackers, if it's a pack of fruit snacks, which I have a lot, all right, with having kids, whatever it is, you can put that in as a meal. What you can do is it really doesn't matter where you put it in. It's going to track everything all at the top here as your running total. So if you put it in, you could put your entire day's nutrition on meal one. Doesn't really matter. It's just going to show you your totals for the day. For me as a coach, it's going to be hard for me to kind of look at and offer suggestions if you don't break it up. You know, I'll probably be able to tell you're probably going to put the things you ate first at the top and then it works its way down. But as a coach, it's helpful if they're broken up into meals, but it's not necessary. So wherever you put your food in, it's still going to keep track of that total and I'll still be able to see it. All right. Now, as far as water, right? We said we want to track our water. When you go to your nutrition, right here at the top, it's got a plus sign next to water. Whatever amount of water you're drinking, that's what we're going to put in. So I've got a shaker cup that I typically use in the morning. It's 24 ounces. I know that I'm going to have that during my workout. I can put that in as we go. Okay. All right. My timer is just about up. Do we have any specific questions that I didn't cover? All right. No, I went
Besides
through. Go
the
ahead.
general nutrition, do you suggest any supplements during this time period, or just kind of stay away from that and stick to the water and the nutrition?
Whole food's always the best. I'll go through any kind of supplement recommendations with our assessment